Education starts very early for these children. Some are aged just 3. They're attending a nursery school on the Wanali Ridge, a mountainous region in the east of Uganda. 9,000 feet above sea level, the area is rugged, remote and prone to landslides. But it's home to around 25,000 people, struggling to survive on almost nothing. It was to help release these people from poverty that registered charity Evergreen Africa set up this school. While their children are schooled and cared for here, the parents are free to work and bring in an income. And at the same time, the children are getting used to the idea that going to school is a normal and natural thing to do. More than 70 children here are learning numbers, letters, and to speak and sing English. It gives them a great head start for the next stage of their education.
Our school is doing very well. Very many parents want their children to be here. A child from this school is different from others because there are several reports we have heard from where they go as they are being stars of those schools. They do very well. And our school, we are provided help from Evergreen, and they give us help while others nothing. So the differences are very many. So that's why we enjoy it very much.
At primary level, Evergreen has twinned this school with 3 educational establishments in the UK, raising the money for benches so that the children no longer need to sit on the cold and muddy floors. Next year, it plans to move on to a new programme, menstrual health. As they approach puberty, many girls here drop out of school because they don't have the knowledge or the practical materials to deal with the start of their periods. By helping both the girls and the boys understand that this is a normal, natural part of life, Evergreen believe they can free the girls from this sense of shame and build the self-confidence they need to carry on with their education. Education is at the heart of most of what Evergreen has been doing up here on the ridge. These local people are being trained as community health promoters, or CHPs. The idea is that they'll share what they've learnt with their extended families and with their neighbours in the wider community. In 4 years, this programme has now trained 170 CHPs, and its impact has already been felt by thousands of people across the ridge. The course starts with basic rules about hygiene, but as the CHPs move on up through the levels, they'll go on to cover subjects like immunisation, pre- and postnatal care, and the care of mothers and infants. They can end up as nursing assistants in local clinics, working just below the professional level.
In the family, we were sick all the time. All the time. The child is in the hospital, my mom is in the hospital, dad is in the hospital. Sometimes we are 3 in the hospital because we didn't know what is the cause. But when Evergreen came, after the training, they told us to begin from our own homes. So I went back home, the toilet. I even started teaching my own family that if the hygiene is good in the family, everything is okay. So no sickness in my home because the compound is clean. We eat hot food, we eat clean food, we drink boiled water. We are very, very okay, and the family is developing. I feel very, very happy. So I request that don't stop. Please come back again. We really need you. Thank you very much, Evergreen. Thank you, thank you.
Before this program, my life was hard. There was vomiting in my family. There was diarrhea. Evergreen has changed my life. I love Evergreen so much because it has helped me and trained me in so many things. And even outside there, in my community, many people have started admiring me because there has been a change in my life. And so many questions, they come back and the lunch is ready, the children are clean, smart. Those are some of the questions that I've heard from the community, but this is because of Evergreen program. and know that it's God who chooses, and it's God who chose me to be part of Evergreen program.
More education, but here the subject is finance. These people are learning about savings and loan schemes. They're encouraged to save small amounts regularly, which are then lent out at a low rate of interest to help those taking part to start or grow a business. Evergreen have been supporting these schemes for 5 years now, and the funds in the longest running one now total more than £4,000, a significant amount in the local economy.
Why we train people about savings and loans is to improve on the poverty circle of their lives.
We have groups that have people who have bought land, pieces of land out of the savings. People have taken their children to school. Like we had one woman telling us she took her child to school, and this child of hers has gone for a diploma and a degree because of the savings. Yeah, people have also gotten businesses.
And the families no longer depend on one person like a man. At least a woman also is working, is saving, and they can support themselves together. So there's unity. And also we have seen that women no longer fear. It has improved on their communication skills. They are no longer undermined. There are also something in the family, somebody in the family.
Before I joined saving, I was in a life that I cannot even describe. I was very ignorant. I had no idea what I should follow. My life has changed a lot since I started Evergreen because I know how to save, I know how to borrow money. I have learned that I can borrow money to take my child to school, and now my child is in primary 7. Then the balance, I can put it into farming like Irish potatoes and carrots, and I'm looking at these things to be very helpful to me tomorrow. Even me, if my child gets knowledge, who knows tomorrow my child will be able to get a job. He has to become a very useful person in the future.
We have been struggling so much when it comes planting. We don't have seeds, we don't have pesticides, but now we are able to borrow from the saving group, buy seedlings, buy the pesticide, and see that we get some good yield, and also we get some profit out of what we have invested. This saving is something good that we pray that it continues, because out of savings I've got blessings, getting food from this community and selling in town. At the same time get the profit, then inject back the capital into the business, but part of the money return in the group. So I've seen that life is balancing. With the saving, things are easy. With the savings, money is available in the group where I can go and borrow whenever there is a need. So thank you, Evergreen, for this program. Thank you.
Another great way to generate income up here is by way of a goat. One of the first programs Evergreen started on the ridge was a goat rearing scheme for widows and for families headed by orphans. They asked the local community to select 50 people who were in particularly sharp need and gave each of them a pregnant goat. When this gives birth, one kid is returned to Evergreen, who nurture it and then pass it on to another participant. The original goat is then serviced by one of the project's rams, and the first participant keeps the offspring, which they can use to generate an income.
I want to thank God for Evergreen. Without this God, my life would not be how I am today. I have my grandchildren, and this God has given me 2 kids. Out of these 2 kids, I sold one. My grandchild never had the books. I was able to sell one and buy for her books. I sat down and I had to plant this grass that you're seeing so that my goat can graze from nearby. So it looks so green and healthy. That's how it is green, it's because of the manure I get from the goat. As it eats, really I feel good. This God has helped me so much. Surely I feel love for this program.
The goat rearing scheme is already close to being self-sustaining, and that's the ambition for the majority of Evergreen's programs. But some programs, like the nursery school, will always require external funding, and to provide that, they've set up what they call income generation sustainment programs. For instance, this land has been acquired for a market garden, while this coffee roasting enterprise is already in business. As well as providing income for the local people who work on them, the aim is that these enterprises will return sufficient profits to fund the programs that can't be self-sustaining. It's one way to help improve the chances that Evergreen can continue its practical work, maintaining and expanding a set of programs that have already done a great deal to change lives up here on the ridge.
Before my life back, I was an ignorant man. But when Evergreen came, I think you can see even my face is glittering. I am one of those who are the happiest because I've enjoyed this training. This training has caused a change in this community. I think you can see the community has turned to be a beautiful one. Whatever we were trained on, we have been able to pass on to people and they are putting it into practice. So Evergreen has done marvelous work in this community. Thank you, Evergreen.